Welcome to the Lakeshow podcast. This weekly deep dive into the biggest stories and topics surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm Allie Clifton, joined by my Spectrum SportsNet co-host Chris McGee, our Laker insider Mike Bresnahan.
Hi.
Here we are.
Hi, friends.
Hi, everybody.
How are we doing? How are we feeling?
Love your Pally Strong sweatshirt.
I do too. What it stands for, what it means.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I know that you guys, we're going to all wear them again.
Yes, next week.
Next week.
Jumped ahead a little bit. Sorry. But this is amazing. You do have a little background on it, though.
Yeah, the kid who, not a kid, he's a young man, but I've known him since he was a kid. But his name's Max. He lives in Florida. His family's all from the Palisades. His dad, his uncle, his cousins, and everybody. And he's a former hooper, and he felt like he wanted to give back to his community, and how could he do it? And felt helpless there being in Florida. So he and his business partner, they created all this, the sweatshirts and T-shirts, and every cent is going back to all the Palisades victims, and it's already over $30,000. And it's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's really awesome.
Yeah,
amazing.
Every cent. So,
people, I like how people are still doing it. People are still talking about it. The LA Kings over the weekend had like a celebrity skate at Crypto.com.
Yeah, that was cool.
And the only fans, you couldn't buy tickets for it. The fans in attendance were first responders and or people affected by the fires, perhaps. So it's really cool that we're still talking about, still trying to raise money for the people who lost their homes, and keep it going. So it's awesome.
A lot of times, I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of times after natural disasters or tragedies hit, when time passes a little bit,
Something
the
new
news
comes
cycle
along.
changes, and something else. So it's nice to remember still. And
That part, yep.
yeah, because a lot of these people I see around our town are, they're going through it right now. It's been really tough.
You don't want them to think that anyone forgot or
Yeah.
Right? We remember.
So yeah, these are awesome though. So if you have a chance,
Comfortable hoodies.
yeah, great. All right, when it comes to the Lakers, let's dive in. Before we look ahead to the next game on the schedule, a very big game on the schedule. Shall we reflect and recap? You were off on Saturday, rightfully so.
Had a great time.
I was going to say, can we get your point of view? Because we broke down the game, obviously, in the post-game show.
And then you guys FaceTimed me. So
We
the
did.
three of us were breaking it down.
The
We all
post-game
cheersed
show.
Yeah.
together. We didn't get your photo into the post-game show quick enough.
I sent that a little late, and Ryan and B. Moore, the producer, said, we're off the air, buddy. So might have been a little lubed up at that point.
Wait, was it?
A little sauced up at that point. Just having a great time during your show and celebrating the victory at my buddy's house. There's 5 of us.
Sprays in a glass.
I guess the next day they were all laughing like at my reactions throughout the whole game. Like apparently I was just like laughing and having the greatest time, like hitting my buddy Matt every time Luka hit a shot. I mean, and I'm like, well, I guess I don't get to act like that ever. Like,
right.
It's been 13 years since I've watched a game with my friends. So it was very fun to, when we're here watching, we're in suits and stuff, and we're in our own chairs, and you're very, you're screaming at the TV. Believe me, we do. And
Are we not your friends?
you're celebrating. I knew that was coming. Yeah. It's different though when you're, hoisting and having a good time.
Yeah.
I
was actually just talking to someone yesterday.
Yeah.
You're a completely different human when you have to broadcast and work covering the game.
It's different.
Watching versus watching it as a fan.
1,000%.
1,000%. I agree with you on that.
And it was super fun to, Denver had beaten the Lakers 13 to 14 times. And it's the way they had beaten them. They dominated them. They played like crap and found a way to beat them. They let the Lakers lead. Every imaginable way to lose to Denver, they've done that the last 3 years. So,
not to mention, they also came into Saturday, and in general, 9 straight. They'd won 9 straight.
Yeah. Hottest team in the NBA, just like Indiana was the hottest team in the NBA when the Lakers beat them. The Lakers have beaten some really good teams, and they've buried some good teams.
Yeah.
Clippers, Boston, Denver. So that whole narrative we had for the first couple months of the season where the Knicks, where they haven't, and the Knicks were the hottest team in the league.
Exactly.
So
Lakers shut them down.
We're running out of excuses. Like everyone was rested. Everyone played. There was no injuries.
3 of those 5 games were on the road.
3 of those 5 on the road.
You mentioned.
Dominated them. It was super fun just to watch the matchups change because it's a different Laker team than Denver had ever played. So they couldn't hunt the same guys. The matchups were all of a sudden different. Jokic was frustrated. Lakers playing him 2 more times. They're going to be big games. But for that night, Lakers showed potentially what that could look like when they play well. And by the way, the Lakers could have won that by 30. They missed a lot of shots that they usually make. So they put it on them.
A lot of chatter too right now nationally. JJ putting himself in the conversation for Coach of the Year. Obviously, it's put into context Kenny Atkinson and what he's doing. But after a win like that and the way they have been playing, you hear that today. You hear, are the Lakers championship contenders? Can you start talking about them in the West, where they are right now? How do they stack up against the West best in Oklahoma City? So there's a lot of chatter, a lot of conversation going on. I think when we just look at that game, outside of just the excitement of seeing it and what we've witnessed over the last couple of years in this matchup, we talked about it. 4 of the 5 starters, 20 or more. Luka, LeBron, Reeves, and Rui all combined for 101 of the 123 points scored. So whether it's been the offense right now, or when you talk about how great Denver had been going into the game, they're one of the best offensive teams in plenty of offensive categories all season long in the NBA. But limiting Nikola Jokic, so then from a standpoint of the Laker defense, to 12 points, 13 boards, 10 assists. Yes, it is a triple-double. Yes, that is no small feat.
He can get that all day
that
if
is
he
what
wants.
Nikola Jokic does.
Take it.
I think it was the fact that it was 7 shots. He only hit 2 of them.
2 in 35 minutes.
What's, I guess, impressing you most? And in a win like that?
Yeah, to me, the defense.
Offense, the defense?
Yeah, the defense. I mean, the Lakers held them to 100. And Geet, Allie, when they traded AD, my first reaction was, wow, Luka Doncic coming to LA. My second reaction was, how are they going to stop big guys with no AD? They had to go trade for a center. They thought they had one in place. And that obviously fell apart. Okay, so Jackson Hayes is your starting center. How are you going to stop the big 5s in the league, Jokic first and foremost? And I think we found a little part of their playbook on what they're going to do. Harass the hell out of them. You don't have Dwight Howard, and you don't have JaVale McGee, who got under his skin 5 years ago. Wow, already 5 years ago in the West Finals. You don't have traditional centers beyond Jackson Hayes. You've got some guys, Trey Jemison and Alex Len, just not really experienced, or in Len's case at the end of his career. But the way that Jared Vanderbilt was harassing Jokic, Rui was playing some defense on him. They just kept kind of circling around him and bothering him like gnats around us if we're having a picnic together at Live Oak Park in Manhattan Beach. I mean, it was really impressive the way they bothered Jokic. I have a feeling that the Denver, coaching staff afterwards is like, what just happened? 123 to 100. The defense carried the day for me, Geet.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. Jalen Brunson and Cat. James Harden. Tatum. Jokic. Best players in the league, right? Some of the best players in the league. All were frustrated. Like the Lakers collectively, what they did defensively in these matchups has been really impressive. And it's been a full group team effort with different personnel. Max and AD used to be a part of that.
Yeah, yep.
And then now Gabe and Vando and Dorian are a part of it. Winning different ways, blowing teams out, good teams. It's been really impressive. But I think since Brez took the defense, offensively for me, the way they played that game with Luka as the focal point and LeBron off ball and AR off ball, and how dangerous those two were, and AR scoring 23 on how many shots? 11 shots. Like, it was really impressive how those guys played and let Luka kind of do his thing. And I went to practice today and I asked that question to all the guys, JJ, Rui, and Doe. At what point did you think Luka was going to have that kind of a day? Rui said from the get-go.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Rui said, I could tell by the way he was warming up, he was going to be good. Dorian said it just took him a little while. He knew it was coming, but like it took him a couple while. He hadn't played since Christmas. And JJ said he doesn't remember like the moment, but when he hit a couple of those step back threes, he just knew that like that guy's killer mentality and the way he plays with also this like jovial spirit, he could see it early on that he was back in that regard, because that's how he plays, talking, hitting shots, smiling, but also with this intensity. That was really impressive to see that. I think for Laker fans to see what it could look like with Luka playing well was the best part for me.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing. I think Doris called it out on the broadcast too. Just when you see, and I know it was a big conversation, and I think even Magic tweeted this out about wondering how or what it was going to look like, not just LeBron and Luka, but adding in the efficiency and Austin to that offensive threat, right? Being a three-headed weapon, if you will. Could that happen? How long would it take? And what would it look like if it does? So to see all three of them have it. But I think Doris pointed out too, and we got a good glimpse of it. When you have guys like LeBron and Luka in particular, who see the floor the way they do, and we talked about this in the post game, you add in a guy like Nikola Jokic, just how it felt like a playoff game from a strategic standpoint, right? But in particular with Luka and LeBron on the floor, clicking at the same kind of rate and level, just the open looks that guys are going to get offensively. Someone like Austin being able to take advantage of that with his kind of offensive package. But the sound that came out today of Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Butt naked open.
Butt naked open.
Yeah.
And that was the tough one because we were talking about how he had those looks in the first half and he couldn't get him to fall. We've seen him fall for him before.
He just said he's like getting these open shots now, which he used to never get in Brooklyn, and he got him back in Dallas, and now he's playing with Luka and LeBron. He's like, I'm open again.
What? Butt naked open.
Butt naked open.
I mean, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. And guys are playing great. I mean, they're playing with confidence. To me, I just keep kind of saying, like, they really need their full ensemble.
Yeah.
You know, even though they haven't had it a lot. Like, for it to really work against a team like Denver and Boston, you need that full length. You need Vando, you need Dorian, you need Gabe, you need Jackson. Like, all those role guys have to be healthy and playing.
That's why they say when you win a championship, luck is one of the components of it in terms of being healthy and having your entire roster
100%.
and and having that on your side.
Getting sometimes the right matchup, sometimes a call goes your way. I mean, anything can turn you have to have a little luck for sure.
Speaking of turning, we're going to turn the page because the Lakers taking on the Mavericks. Ooh. First and foremost, obviously Max Christie is coming back to LA, AD as well, but he is still out of action. Latest report, he is progressing, but he's out at least 2 more weeks with that left adductor strain. This is an interesting one because remember, he sat out with an abdominal strain
when
he was with the Lakers. Yeah. This is not the ab. This is an actual groin injury.
It's not good.
Yeah.
That reminds me of 21. Phoenix here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So he is here, though, in LA. So you imagine. I think first and foremost, Gafford and Lively both out the majority of the regular season. What do you think, just the intensity, the atmosphere, you and Big Game are going to be down there tomorrow. What do you think it's going to feel like?
Playoff, just like it was for Luka's first game. I mean, there's a lot of vibe around it, a lot of buzz. What is it on 4 networks? I mean, it's going to be streaming on, you can stream it on Max, and you can watch it on 2TV, you can watch it on TNT, watch it on us, of course, pre and post, halftime.
What do you think the reception will be for AD?
But it's going to be all over
Max?
the place, national.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird. Like, what are they going to do? There's a tribute video, I'm sure, for AD and Max.
This is AD's first tribute video.
There better be a big...
He didn't get one when he went back to New Orleans.
You know, the only bummer is it's got to be together.
Right.
AD deserves...
His own.
Listen, I'm the biggest Max fan. He deserves his own because he led that team to a championship and what he's meant to the program, to the franchise. But I think Max, people love... I mean, I think they're going to get huge ovations. Huge ovations.
Yep.
Yeah.
They better.
Yeah.
They will.
Yeah. All they ever did was
maybe do AD in the first quarter, Geet, and Max in the second quarter. Maybe a little separate.
That's a good idea, Bress.
Yeah. Because as you said, AD was here for longer, won a ring 5 years ago. I mean, he deserves his own quarter, really, and then Max can pick it up in the second quarter.
Man, it'd be something if he was playing.
I know. That would be like second round playoff intensity.
I mean, I loved the way, to be honest with you, Max and AD attacked the trade because they were shell-shocked. They were bummed, but they got on that plane together. They sent Dallas a message. They got there. Max started balling as soon as AD could play. He was trying to ball. He was, 23 and 13 in the first half or third quarter, and then got hurt. But they were like, hey, we're here to win with you guys. So I always appreciated that out of them. I love when guys can get traded and come right in and be impact players.
And Geet, I think Mavs fans saw the epitome of Anthony Davis in that one game you were just referencing. He's playing awesome. He's playing great. But he has the penchant. He has the tag, the label, if you will, of being injury prone. And he's been a lot better recently.
Yep, for sure.
Played 76 games last season. Yeah, he was fighting it a little bit earlier this year. Sat out a few games and now he's really out for a while, and it's too bad because that game tomorrow would be
Brez, because he's
going to
get close to that. He's going to He's not going to hit that 65-game mark, is he then?
No, he'll be below that.
Man, he was an All-NBA for sure this year.
Yeah, you would have thought. I mean, so it's so weird with the Wemby injury too. So he's blown out. He's done for Defensive Player of the Year. So it's kind of like, all right, who do you go with for that? Mobley from Cleveland, he could be the guy. Shea, good backcourt defender, leads the league in steals.
Triple J.
Jaren Jackson's leading the odds right now. If you look in betmgm.com. So all these awards and all these first-team All-NBA things, with that 65-game necessity, a lot of them are getting blown out right now.
What's crazy, I've seen this, the impact that could have on a team and a franchise financially, because those guys not making All-NBA, that bumps, let's say, a Scotty Barnes.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, you hit that All-NBA team, you then get the, Supermax?
Yeah.
Isn't that the deal? You can then...
It's massive raise.
It's a big difference in money, so...
And Luka would have been getting the Supermax from Dallas, but they don't have to worry about that anymore, do they?
No.
Scotty Barnes. You know who that's for?
Who's that for?
Justin Moore. B. Moore's youngest son.
B. Moore's youngest son.
Job,
Thanks to
Justin.
the Raptors. Dinosaurs.
Shout out to B. Moore's son.
Yeah. And Jordan, of course. We love them both. Speaking of injuries, the only one, the Lakers have put out their injury report for the game tomorrow against Dallas, or today, as you're listening to this. LBJ, but he is listed as probable. That left foot injury management. Only one on the injury report besides Maxi Kleber, who we know is out.
I have a feeling he's playing.
His right foot.
I'm just going to go on a limb right now and say he's playing.
Think so?
It's kind of a big game.
He was cruising in the back with his top dropped down to practice today, saying life is good. Is that how that went? Go check socials. Think we get another Dirk sighting?
Oh,
interesting.
Great call.
I loved how he put out. He kind of followed up. I'll never be a Laker fan, but I'll always be a Luka fan, and I wanted to be there for Luka. Obviously, as he was in attendance.
I'll never be a Laker fan. Great point. He will never
debut.
Maybe we'll get Cuban there too.
Oh, I'm sure he's there.
Yeah.
So many people,
you'll have the scoop,
including Cuban and maybe Dirk, have places in LA. So many NBA people, players, front office people, owners. So it's kind of like, we'll go out to LA and hang out there for a couple days, watch the Mavs play, and it's crazy how many people. It used to be like, he's going to 20 years ago. He's going to sign with LA because it's sunshine, and he's tired of playing in Detroit or Cleveland or Milwaukee, whatever cold weather city he was coming from. So many of them live out here anyway during the offseason. That doesn't really hold water anymore. No. That real estate is going to help a player determine where they're going to end up as a free agent. As Jerry West once told me, he said the number one thing that players factor into where they're going to sign as a free agent, money.
Yeah.
And he's right. He's right. Location, and of course, you want to go to a good team if you can. If they got purchasing power where they can bring you on under their payroll. But money's probably the number one, and then good team, and then we'll go with location.
Money
number
talks.
3.
Money
before
talks.
we go to break, I wish that you were here when JJ gave that great soundbite before the game the other day when he said he wanted Luka to have a blackout episode where he's screaming indiscriminately at nothing, right? Because it just means he's back. How many blackout episodes do you think that you've had as a Laker fan?
Oh my God.
How about this past weekend?
Did you have one on Saturday?
I've had so many.
When you were asking your dog Zeffy to go get you water on the couch as you were FaceTiming Bresnahan and couldn't meet us for old fashions.
Forgot about that.
Blackout? Did you black out?
I might have laid it down.
Yeah, I kid.
For a minute.
I kid.
Might have laid it down for a minute.
Deserving after a big win.
Yeah.
Look, Luka had one on Saturday. We'll see how many we get.
You guys got me watching Severance. That thing puts me to sleep too a lot of times. So I was dead out, fall asleep to that thing.
You went night-night.
Yeah.
Like the Golden State Warriors.
So good, but it's a slow burn, Severance.
Lakeshow fans, remember you can be a part of this show each week. Feel free to send us your questions and comments. We'd love to hear from you. We're taking a quick break. When we return, more on the Lakers starting to look like real contenders in the Western Conference. Welcome back to Lakeshow Podcast. If you're enjoying the show, you can check out more original podcasts from our Spectrum News journalists on the Spectrum News app. Just head to the podcast section to listen to the latest episodes. You can download the Spectrum News app on the App Store or Google Play. Before we dive into some chatter about what is ahead for the Lakers, let's take a listen to how much sleep JJ got leading into that game against Denver.
This morning we talked about going to war. Be willing to die on the court. All right, I was so amped today. I should have been able to take a nap. I couldn't sleep last night. I was up till 5 a.m. I couldn't even nap today. Pre-game, I'm laying on the floor doing my breathing exercise. I'm envisioning what our team is going to play like. And you guys went even higher. You went even higher. And frankly, our conviction and our belief in the game plan, the bench was great. Everybody contributed. Luka, it's good to have you back. Yes, sir. It's good to have you back. First team all defense. First team all defense. Rui, Vando, Doe, Bron, all you guys that were primarily, you were on 3 possessions, whatever. Everybody that was on Jokic was awesome tonight. That was great. Last thing. Talk all season long about our belief and our conviction, okay? Hope that was fun. If we play that hard for the rest of the regular season, we're going to be just fine.
If we could listen to JJ Redick before every pregame, every show we do on this network, we're going to be just fine.
That was good.
Armloads of Emmys.
Who do you think he was talking about? The 3 possessions on Jokic.
Jackson Hayes, maybe? I don't think he mentioned
so
my
funny.
name.
Jackson was on there more, right? Than
A little bit.
I don't know. It was so funny.
Yeah.
If you don't think that game
Even you, 3 possessions.
and winning and just, I guess, maybe showing yourself that you can do it, kind of as you mentioned, this didn't make you a believer in what we can be when we.
I'll tell you what, when they have great defensive game plans. When they execute them, it looks real good. So as a coach, you got to be so happy with your team when you're, when you can play to that level and execute on both sides of the ball. Like JJ's got to be jacked. No wonder why he's not sleeping. I asked him today about the standings.
Oh, yeah?
I said, do you watch the standings? Like, as a player, did you watch it? Like, coach, broadcaster, podcaster? And he was like, podcaster? No. Broadcaster? Like, not really. Player and coach? Obsessively.
Whoa.
He's like, I'm like totally looking at everything and I was like, oh my God, me too. Good. Like, I started caring about weird games last night that I would never care about, because seeing the Memphis and all these teams, losing was a lot of good games yesterday. He mentioned that, like, how many every night, you're looking at like, okay, who's playing. So it was awesome to hear like someone honest say, yeah, I look at of course I look at the effing standings. Like, it matters.
That's what I love about JJ. I feel like a high degree of transparency and honesty.
It's awesome.
I mean, he's not going to tell us everything. He's not going to tell us the game plan, how they're going to try to shut down Jokic. But I feel like he's been really frank. And earlier this season, Allie, his first as an NBA coach, obviously, you could see him wearing the losses in not a great way. Like, they were really getting to him. I remember it was like their second loss, and he was like, we'll open up the water bottle and sighing and putting the water bottle down and frowning. I'm like, he's not going to get through a full season.
Eat that piece of candy.
Let these things. What's that?
Eat that piece of candy.
Yeah, eat that piece of candy.
Microphone.
Always. He's got to let these things roll off his shoulders, and I think he's just growing into the role.
Yeah.
And the losses don't affect him like they did. Of course, he hasn't been in the playoffs yet as a coach. Maybe we'll see more of the irritated JJ after losses, but I'm impressed by what he's done.
He totally could have said, you know what, like, I'm not looking at him right now. We're just worried about us. He could have given the absolute BS. Coach,
all the players, the coaches say.
It was awesome. He's like, I am absolutely obsessive over it.
Yeah,
like, oh my God.
Lakers in fourth in the West.
Should we go do karate in the garage? Like, we're best friends. Yeah.
Which is a great segue, because at practice he also said, when asked about approaching this next stretch of games with intensity, saying we're in a dogfight for playoff seeding. We are preparing for the playoffs. There's 27 games left, right? 27 games. They're at 13 games above 500, fourth in the West.
Coming up.
2 games out of the 2 seed, 8-2 in their last 10. Obviously, as we know, playing great basketball. But you look at the upcoming schedule: Mavs, T-Wolves, Clippers twice, Pelicans, Knicks. After that, you got a 4-game roadie: Celtics, Nets, Bucks, Nuggets.
Big games. You can have the Nuggets a couple times, like Clippers a couple times. Like, you got to at least split in those, right? Times. You got to get Minnesota. You got to split with the Clips. You got to split with the Nuggets. Like, then you keep everyone. But obviously, if you sweep one of those teams, like if you can sweep a Clippers, then you put them in a rearview mirror. And
100%.
Yeah, but you can't go 1-2, right? Like, these games are huge coming up.
4 back-to-backs, 3 back-to-backs in an 8-day stretch.
That's tough.
Those 6
That's
games
actually super
in an 8-day.
tough, because you're not going to have your ensemble for all those. Yeah, you're going to lose. Yeah, but they found ways to win.
I tried to look at the silver lining. So you've got the Nuggets, Bucks, and then you've got that Suns, Spurs, and then you've got the Nuggets, Bucks again. And I tried to look at the silver lining as I was breaking it down with Trainer. It's a 12:30 start with either the Suns or the Suns, I think, and then the Spurs is a 7:30. So I was like, well, there's a little bit of and Big Game looked at me like, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's hours, but it's still 3 sets of back-to-backs.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
In a very short span.
Yeah.
I mean, even LeBron posted about the other day. I mean, speaking of transparency and players saying what's in front of them. You can't debate the schedule. The schedule is a schedule.
Yeah.
And why are there 6 games in 8 days? Because one of those games against the Spurs was postponed because of the fires last month. So, it's going to be a really rough schedule. And Allie, what was that road trip you just read? At
Celtics,
at Celtics,
Nets, Bucks, Nuggets.
That's one of the biggest 4-game trips. The Nets are nothing, obviously. One of the biggest 4-game trips in March I can remember in a long time. That's an important trip for them.
Starting
no doubt.
in Boston, ending in Denver.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
With New York in there.
That's just gonna be more dangerous off the court.
Yeah, all teams in which they haven't played the Bucks yet, but you beat the Celtics.
They also get the Bucks at home later in March.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So a lot of conversation we talked about earlier in the show, just about who the Lakers are at this point. Are they true contenders in the West? So if we kind of break down the playoff tiers in the Western Conference right now, I kind of want your guys' opinions. We'll go tier 1, true title contenders. Tier 2 in the mix, basically contenders, pretenders. And then tier 3, just participating for the postseason, which...
I was thinking about this earlier, Allie. Yeah, I've got
in the West. This is
in
all
the
West?
Western Conference, yeah.
Oh, in the West, no East.
No East, just in the West. So you've got OKC,
3.
Grizzlies,
yeah.
Denver, Lakers, Rockets, Clippers, top 6.
I'm going to go 3 contenders. OKC, obviously. I mean, they're just way ahead of everyone else. Denver and the Lakers. I at the risk of showing my cards for the next round, I just don't think Memphis is a contender. Why? Because against teams over 500, they're not good. They're 4 games under 500 against good teams. So that tells me, I don't know about them, even though they're second in the West. So I think there's really only 3 contenders, and the Lakers just obliterated one of the other 2 by 23 the other night, Keith. I mean,
it's a great stat against Memphis. I was kind of had them on that
not good
fringe.
against good teams.
So maybe I'll drop them to the next tier because I think you brought up a great point. I'm kind of with Brez on the 3 contenders because the reason why I think the Lakers are, for the last 2.5 months, so I think it's like December 9th, what they've been able to do, they've been contenders for a long time. So when you're playing great basketball for 2.5 months, some of the best basketball in the league, and I look at the standings, and they're like 6th best record in the league, right around 5th, between 7 and 4, like every day fluctuates. That means you're a top team. So for me, they have shown the ability. This is where I did not necessarily believe in them in the past. They have shown the ability to win big games, big moments on the national stage when everyone's watching. The Bostons, the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Knicks, when they're not supposed to, when they're 10-point dogs, they've won big games. So your ability to win big games to me matters. So I think listen, I think there are some holes, as we talked about, with the bigs and stuff like that, but they're finding ways to get through it. They have to be healthy, obviously, but they are definitely contenders now. I put them up there with the Nuggets. I put them up with OKC. I put kind of the Rockets, Memphis, and I don't overlook the Warriors and the Mavs. I think the Warriors and the Mavs, if you're going to put the Rockets and Memphis in there, even though they have better records, I still, because of who is on their team, I still put the Warriors in the Mavs. If they get in, I still put them with the Clippers and stuff, but I put the rest of the teams kind of on that other tier, man. The Suns aren't real anymore. I just don't.
I was going to say you have 7.
See, I keep waiting for Minnesota to like be a firm tier 2 team.
They're not with me. Yeah, they're not.
It might
tier
not
2.
happen. I mean, Julius has been out for almost a month. Now Gobert's out too.
I'm telling you, Brez, I jump the Mavs and Warriors over Minnesota. I just believe in them more.
Yeah.
If they're healthy, I believe in them more, and then I do Minnesota, and I'll put the Clips in that tier.
DiVincenzo's been hurt forever too.
It's interesting, Brez, because I probably would have put Memphis higher, but I did hear what you said. And
one argument for Memphis, tier 1, you've got a lot of injuries. John Morant's missed 22 games.
Yeah.
And Desmond Bane's missed about a dozen games.
You know what they remind me of, Brez? The year the Lakers beat them as a 7 and a 2.
Yep.
2 years ago, where they were they are a good team, but they haven't done it yet.
Exactly.
In the playoffs. Rockets play good basketball. Yeah. They haven't been playing well lately. They're super young. They defend. You get in your shot clock late. Like you get into your offense late, and the shot clock is down to 10 seconds because of the way they defend you full court now.
They have a ton of wings.
Those teams are young. Like I don't know how much that's going to work in the playoffs. It's going to be interesting to see, but I just don't until they show me. It's hard for me to really. It's OKC's time to take a jump. They they were, is this the year they get to the Western Conference Finals? Probably.
Yeah,
at
you
home,
think so. Yeah.
they can avoid the Lakers and the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they would love if the Lakers and Nuggets was like a 3-6 matchup or something like that. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's interesting because I was talking about matchups with you guys the other night on the phone. Like, with AD on the team, there were certain matchups that were great for us.
Yeah.
And then certain matchups where they struggled. Now you don't have AD, and now you're seeing matchups with certain teams. Like the Nuggets seem to be pretty good for us. Maybe the Clippers, we'll see more again. We see them. But it'll be interesting to see, like, OKC last year, we matched up great with OKC. I don't know without AD now.
Right.
Because they got the bigs. AD could handle Chet. They didn't have enough to
Right.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what that looks like.
If you say the three contenders are Lakers, you see the standings if you're watching us. You got the Lakers and Nuggets, and the Thunder are my three contenders. Only two of those teams have won a title in the last 5 years. So OKC really has to prove something.
Yeah, they got to prove it.
They're at the party a lot sooner. I feel like Memphis has been the party for 4 or 5 years, including that first-round knockout that you mentioned. But, OKC's got – that's a hell of a record.
I'll tell you
they
what,
lost
man.
10 games. It's ridiculous what OKC is doing without Chet Holmgren for a couple months, too.
Listen, there is no easy matchup. Say you're the Thunder or the Grizz at 1-2, or say the Nuggets or Lakers get to 1-2. And you're possibly playing the Warriors, Mavs, T-Wolves on that first round. Those matchups are going to be incredible. 4-5's crazy.
What if it's Lakers, Mavs?
I'm actually really intrigued with the Warriors.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued with the Warriors.
Yeah.
They've won 5 of 6.
Yep.
Wins on the road at Chicago. They're in the whatever. They are what they are. They're a 10 seed right now. But at Milwaukee, they dropped at Dallas by 4, but you beat Houston, you beat Sacramento, you won 26-102 yesterday against Dallas.
I watched that game.
Crushed them.
Like the energy, the vibe, you listen to Draymond talking about Jimmy. They're
Guys,
a game and a half out of the 6th seed.
Don't bury the Warriors until Steph Curry's done playing basketball. I'm just telling you right now, like, they're always, to me, going to be in the hunt. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but Draymond believes. He's going to have them believe in. Jimmy is...
I was just going to say, too, Andrew just said, in the West, they have the second easiest strength of schedule remaining. Because I was just looking at
get
it.
into the playoffs.
Charlotte, Philly, Charlotte,
I don't
Brooklyn.
know how they play in the playoffs, but, like, you guys, you got Jimmy at the perfect time. He's rested.
New Orleans.
He's pissed. He's behaving, and he cares.
He got that extension.
And he's in great shape.
Yeah.
And and he got extension. He's playing for Steve, and he's playing with Steph. Like, he got everything he wanted.
This is it. No
He
more
got everything
complaints.
he wanted. So that's a beautiful position to be in. So it'll be fun to watch how they mature too, and they'll be in the hunt.
And Geet, and Allie, I keep waiting to see which one of their young kids is going to really rise to the top. Right now, it's Moses Moody. They plugged him in the starting lineup. He's made a difference. He's been really good with Jimmy and Steph and everyone else. So
you know what I want, Brez?
What's that?
I want Dallas to get right just at the end, at the right time, get healthy, get the 8 seed, OKC,
take out OKC.
Or 7.
Yeah,
go Denver or OKC, Mavs first round. Let's see it.
With all their centers healthy
let's
and
see
AD
the Donnybrook,
back and
I'd love to see that.
That's gonna be some good first round matchups. Well, how about some of these play-in tournament matchups? If it's Minnesota and Dallas and Golden State.
I'm gonna be honest. If the Lakers aren't in the play-in, I ain't watching the play-in. I am tired of that damn tournament.
I think that was JJ's theme too.
I have a better thing for you to do. You'll actually be so much more enjoyable.
I get to watch it as a fan.
Yeah. You could just be. You could be me on the couch Saturday night. You could be having a great time.
You, me, and Zeffy.
Yeah.
Blackout.
You could have a blackout. You could have a blackout night.
Fabulous. Yeah, we'll send a video into the show. Maybe we'll be on time. All right. Lots to discuss there. Great breakdown. On our way out, some news from around the league. Not so good news. Reports suggest Joel Embiid may need radical procedure, like microfracture meniscus replacement or other procedures that would potentially sideline him for 6 months to a year.
So we're losing Embiid and Wembanyama?
Yeah, that's crazy.
See, this is what sucks about the league.
Bad
This
year
is
for
what
the
bums me
Bigs.
out. Sucks about the league, but this is what bums me out when it comes to the NBA playoffs is you just lose so many stars along the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like having a NFL playoffs with, like, oh, the Ravens are in it, but Lamar's not playing, or the Bills without, Josh Allen. It just sucks, man. Absolutely sucks.
If those two guys are healthy, they're probably first team. I mean, I don't know. Wemby won't get it over Jokic, but Wemby's a second team All NBA guy. I mean, at center.
Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy.
That's
if
fun,
they're
man.
healthy.
On a lighter note, but a fun note, Richard Jefferson our guy joining ESPN's top broadcast team, announced today with Doris.
I talked to him on the phone
McGee
today.
and Mike Bresnahan. How was he?
Well, I left him a voicemail, which is a lost art.
Wow.
Well, I did. It's congratulating. I'm super happy for him.
Old school.
And JJ was asked about it at practice. And why I called Rich is I was laughing so hard. JJ was saying the same things that I used to say to Rich. So years and years ago, probably 15 years ago, Rich started talking to me about what he wanted to do after basketball. And I would tell him, like, dude, I am telling you, you are going to crush it in TV. Like, I just feel like you're going to have you're smart. You're not afraid to say stuff. You're a made man. Like, you're going to love it. It's got the personality for it. So there was a very proud moment. Like, I'm just super happy for him. He's worked his ass off. He's really good and he deserves it. So JJ was asked about it and he's like, you know, he was made for TV. I've told him that a few years ago. And JJ was saying, he's like, he's better at TV than basketball. So it was kind of fun. He started to like kind of crush him. So when JJ left the scrum, I said, hey, RJ's been one of my boys for a long time. I've been saying the same thing. And JJ laughed. I've said the same thing. Dude, you're way better at TV than you ever were at basketball.
That's so funny.
So it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Shout out
Job,
to him.
RJ.
So happy for RJ.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Glad he
Good
returned
guy,
your
too.
call. He hasn't returned mine yet.
Well, it was
Crickets.
our messages are usually not that sweet in our group. It was, I left him a very like, oh my God, I just heard, I wish I didn't know. I'm so proud of you.
cool.
I'm so happy. So it was like, I think he felt like he owed me a call.
Yeah.
And then he said,
he
said, summer is coming.
Summer is coming.
And I said, as soon as you're done with those finals, buddy, it'll be just like when you won it with Cleveland. That was a great summer for everyone.
Oh.
RJ came back and landed. It was a hell of a summer.
Oh dear.
Nice.
He was just Captain Fun.
I think I saw some videos of some water balloons that were flying off of his deck.
Launching across his street. We would just be launching from his high up on his deck. We were launching down on people. And it was awesome.
The life.
Yeah.
Living the
we
life.
had a war with Alex Mack's house.
Nice.
Because Alex Mack, the former football player,
he
had
was
all his
center.
people over, and they didn't have a launcher. They were trying to, but
Just get pummeled.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was not a fair fight.
Shout out to Richard.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. Well deserved, our friend. Thanks to
RJ.
all of you for listening to the Lake Show podcast. If you like what you hear, leave us a rating or review on your favorite podcast app. We want to hear from you. Send us your questions. Hit us up on X at Relay Clifton, at Keeter3, and at Mike_Bresnahan. Until next week. Did you know there's a new way to watch your favorite team, and it's available exclusively to Spectrum customers this season? You can watch Lakers games on Spectrum SportsNet Plus with the NBA app on us when you add internet and at least one mobile line. This offer is a slam dunk total value of $194.99. To learn more, head to spectrum.com/getlakers.